PM GMT will already know. The objective of this session is to enlighten participants on how to put together a sound technical paper and deliver it immaculately. I'm very sure a number of us here would have attended conferences, seminars, and workshops, and would have wondered how the presenters were able to put up their delivery. I can assure you all that this is a very good opportunity for us to learn, and we have a very sound and experienced professional who is going to be doing justice to the topic today. However, before we commence, I would want to recognize the presence of Dr. Eddie Okoye, the section chairman for Section 104, where he is here with us. He has always been very supportive. I also recognize the YP chair for Warri, Mr. Omoluabi. Fifi is also here with us. He's the YP chair for the Ghana section, and Himi Domari, the YP chair for Tanzania section. So displayed on the screen is the flyer for today's event, and I'll be moving straight to the agenda for today. So we'll be starting with introduction, which I have just done. Then subsequently, we'll move to safety briefing. The opening speech is going to be given by the YP chair for Ghana section, Mr. Fifi. Then we are going to have a short icebreaker session just for us to break any communication barrier, get to have an idea who the audience are, and a few other things. Then we'll introduce the guest speaker for everyone to have a background info about who is going to be speaking with us today. Then subsequently, we'll go straight to the technical session. We'll have questions and answers. The closing remark is going to be given by the Tanzania section chair, and we're going to be having a group photograph. So without wasting much of our time, we'll be going to the safety brief. Power, if you are on call, you may proceed with the safety brief.
Hello?
Hello, Power, are you
Please
there?
confirm. Yeah, I'm here. So I was having.
Yes, can hear you.
Okay, so I can go ahead, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. This is Gospel James from the Warri section. So apologies for the little noise from the background. Where I am is a bit not so calm. So I'll be taking us on a little brief on safety, on the safety precautions we should adhere to while we engage in this meeting for our own benefit and well-being. So the first thing is, as you are on the call, while you are not speaking or you're not called upon to speak, please, it'll be nice to mute your mic to avoid interference while the other person who is talking will be speaking. The next also is for us to raise our hands when we want to make a comment. That way would help to maintain decorum in the meeting, so that that hand raised will be recognized and then you can speak. You can use the chat button to make comments. Peradventure, you have a comment to make or an answer. So normally the coordinators will see your questions and then can respond to the comments or to do your questions on the chat, and then everyone can see the response also. If you are using your an earpiece, ensure you can still hear fire alarm. This is specifically for those who are still at their workplaces, because some might still be working at emergency units. So while you are on the meeting or on this call, you still want to have a leeway to be able to hear any emergency. For instance, if there is any, it'd be nice to give a bit of leverage to hear what's happening around you. Then be alert and aware of the environment you are. For someone like me who is in a noisy place or a busy place, be nice to look around and be sure that you are safe and not in harm's way. And then also maintain a good posture. So normally you're supposed to maintain a perpendicular sitting posture between your torso and then your thighs. That way, you not have any back ache or back pain. So, of course, this helps you to be able to even sit longer and be attentive more. Just be sure to enjoy the meeting and enjoy safety rules as we go ahead. Thank you very much. Kamaldeen, please, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gospel. That was very nice. I'm very sure the participants here are going to abide with the tips and advice that you have offered on how to keep safe during this meeting. Thank you very much once again.
You're welcome.
So as it's stated on the agenda, the next item is going to be the opening speech, which the YP Chair Ghana section, Mr. Fifi, is going to be giving us. Fifi, you may proceed.
Hello, Kamal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, so okay, this is going to be short. I'll just start by welcoming all of us here on this platform. So I'm just standing on behalf of the three sections that have come together to organize this, namely the Ghana section, the Dar es Salaam, and that's in Tanzania, and the Warri section in Nigeria. So welcome to all members on the call now. And today's session, which is going to talk about putting together a best technical paper from abstract to a perfect delivery, is going to be done by our own very known Dr. Riverson. And as the statement goes that knowledge is important knowledge is important for any individual. There's a popular that says that sharing increases knowledge, which means that if you share your knowledge with another person or with people, that will increase your knowledge in the process. And with time, you become a master of it. And I believe that this is something that Dr. Riverson has really done over time, and that has increased this knowledge over this period. And we also look at the significance of research papers in academics as well as the industry, the professional environment. It goes beyond the boundary of just gaining knowledge. So that is why SPE, Ghana, Tanzania, and Nigeria have put together this program to provide you the necessary information that you need in order to put together this great paper that we all look forward to reading in the near future. So I want to thank you all for joining this call, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Kamal, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Fifi. That was short and straight to the point and incisive. Okay. Please confirm you can see my next slide.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Just to lighten the mood a little bit, we are going to be having an icebreaker session. So right on this slide is the code, but I'll be sharing the barcode, which would probably make it much more easier for us to join. So it's either you use the code 3212228, or I'll be sharing my screen again for the barcode. So there are three questions we have for the icebreaker session, which I'll be displaying shortly. All right, so the first question is where are you joining us from? Like I said, you can use this code or the barcode. You can scan it from your phone to tell us where you are joining us from, or you can as well use the code. So we only have one response so far. Yes. I also try to share the screen, sorry, the link on the group chat to make it easier for us to join. So I've dropped the link on the chat, so you can click the link to tell us where you are joining us from. We'll just do that in a minute or two before we move to the next question. So we have Ghana, we have Warri, Tanzania, Ghana, London, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates. 14 responses so far. Okay. We're still expecting you to participate. We have more than 50 participants online, and we only have 14 responses so far. Like I said, we have three polls that you'll be answering. This is just the first one. Okay, it seems that we already have the maximum responses we could get. So from this, we can say the majority of our participants are from the three organizing countries. That's beautiful to see. Okay, so the next poll or question is, please try and mute your mic if you are not speaking, so that I can have some background. Okay, the next question is, what is your designation? Are you a student? Are you a young professional? Are you an academic? Or which other designation you belong to? If you could kindly tell us. Like I said, you can use the barcode. You can use the codes. You can as well use the link in the chat. Looks like majority here are young professionals and students. We have okay, we have a student, we have an engineer, we have an emerging leader. Please keep it coming, keep it coming. We have gotten 15 responses so far. And the majority seems to be young professionals and students. And like I said earlier, I can assure you that you are really, really going to enjoy this session. Okay, we move to the third poll, which is how many papers have you published? Could be one, could be two. I'm very sure I'll be getting some shocking numbers from the responses so far. None. Okay, I'm very sure after this session, whoever hasn't published would probably publish one. I guarantee that probably before next year. 8. Wow, that's impressive. 10. 16. Interesting. Okay, 0. Okay, school projects. Well, Some people who have their school projects published on journal websites. So 29, interesting. I'm very sure when the guest speaker puts his figure, it's will probably swallow numbers that we have here. 55. Oh, interesting. Okay, so from our responses so far, it looks like our majority are yet to publish any paper. We have, or some have published one, and the highest number we've had so far is 55. That's very interesting to see. I think with this icebreaker, we have a rough idea of who our participants are. And I'm very sure that we would also have an idea of what the expectation is like. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating. We'll be moving on to the next item, which is the introduction of the guest speaker so that we can commence the program in earnest. So I'll be sharing uh, my slide back once again. Please, can anyone confirm if my screen can be seen before I proceed with introducing
We
speaker
can
for
see.
today? Okay, thank you very much. Like I've said earlier, our guest speaker here is Dr. Riverson. He has over 14 years global experience in the oil and gas industry and is currently the commercial manager in charge of economic modeling, risk management, policy planning, ERP at Ghana National Gas Company. He's also an adjunct lecturer at Ghana Technology University College, a Coventry University campus in Africa, and a visiting lecturer at University of Cape Coast, UCC, and Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. He is an A&P committee member of International Gas Union. He is also a section director of the Society of Petroleum Engineers Ghana section, even as he continues to serve as an advisory committee member of SPE Africa. Dr. Rivasi holds a PhD and a postdoctorate degree in international oil and gas management, finance, and economics from Gilpin University of Oil and Gas, diploma in Earth Geoscience from Stanford University, USA, master's with honors in petroleum engineering from Gilpin University of Oil and Gas with master's exchange program in Arctic development of Norwegian University of Nordland, a bachelor's degree in materials, industrial science, and engineering from KNUST Ghana, diploma in project management from Institute of Commercial Management, United Kingdom. Prior to joining Ghana National Gas Company in 2020, Dr. Opong had worked on several oil and gas fields and projects, including North Busachi fields in Kazakhstan, Independence field in Cote d'Ivoire, Jata field in Ghana, and West Qana 2 gas field in Iraq. He also consulted for the Croatian government on the Croatian LNG project as a project economist. Upon returning to Ghana, he has been playing an active role in Ghana's energy sector recovery program, a program that gave birth to the cash waterfall mechanism, natural gas clearinghouse, and P4R. He has worked tirelessly to ensure that the objectives of these programs are holistically achieved. Dr. Opong equally sits on Ghana's National Energy Transition Technical Committee, where he contributes to writing policy documents to address Ghana's energy transition roadmap. He also currently plays a dynamic role in the review of Ghana's Gas Master Plan, GMP, and Natural Gas Pricing Policy, NGPP. He has lectured in several universities across Europe, Canada, and Australia, and he has been a conference panelist on numerous conferences across the globe in the past 7 years. His immense contribution to international conferences cannot be overlooked, as he has made presentations in over 30 countries within Africa and beyond. With numerous published papers and articles, he is also an author of 3 books as at June 2022. Dr. Opong had over 500 citations in articles, theses, and books. It is worth mentioning that Dr. Rivasi has won several international accolades, the most recent being the recognition by Gurus and Prospects magazine, GEP, as one of the top 10 energy thought leaders in Africa and diaspora. 2023 SPE Regional Management Award 2022 Rising Star Ghana Energy Awards, 2022 SPE Regional Distinguished Service Awards, 2020 SPE Regional Young Member Outstanding Service Award, and 2020 Presidential Millennium Excellence Award, Oil and Gas Youth category. Dr. Opong won the Best PhD Research globally in 2016 in Poland at the East meets West SPE conference. That's his citation. It's actually longer than this. We actually have to review it on an abridged version. Like I've said earlier, he's very experienced with vast knowledge and several published papers and presentations across conferences worldwide. So I would like us to take a good listen, take out a pen and paper and put down some notes as we invite Dr. Rivasi to take the paper or to take the technical sessions for today, stringing together the best technical paper from a catchy abstract to a perfect delivery. Dr. Rivasi, you're invited, sir.
Hey, thank you so much. Can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, sir. You can be heard. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And can you allow me to share my screen? All right. Could you also confirm you can see the screen shared?
Yes, I can.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. All right. So good evening and good morning, good night from wherever you are listening to us from today. We do appreciate you spending time with us. We promise you that this collaboration is not going to be the first one. Personally in touch with the session chairs of these 3 wonderful sessions we have, and we are yet to see more of such going forward. I was very happy to see that someone has published 55, 80 papers, and that's wonderful. And that is what we are looking out for today. So when it gets to the interaction time, when it gets to the Q&A, I expect these people to show forth, and if they can write me personally, I would like to be in touch with you. I want to thank the Salaam session for hosting me today. I'm speaking from Tanzania, and tomorrow I'm engaging the session officers here. For those who are able to join from Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana, thank you so much for doing so. Today, we're going to talk about stringing together the best technical paper. And it doesn't need to be best, it has to be something readable, something that we are going to enjoy reading, okay? And I'm going to take you from the abstract perspective to even the presentation delivery. Let me say this, because this is an SPE work, or this is an SPE presentation, even though I'm a lecturer, I supervise PhD thesis, I supervise master's thesis, I'm not going to use the academic status quo, or let me say, system. I'm going to gear towards the application of what SPE expects, which is not so far different from whatever good article should be. So to start with, allow me to refresh your mind of what SPE really is. So I termed this sheet SPE Redefined, and it's talking about the fact that the mission and vision of SPE still boils down to developing its members technically and socially. And for that matter, today we have the Benin City session playing soccer as we are here learning. So whilst others are learning, others are having fun. That's how it's that. We do that by organizing conferences and seminars. I've been part of several conferences and seminars organized by SPE globally. For those who go to lab research, whether you're going to join academia or even the industry, it doesn't matter. One Petro and PetroWiki is going to be one of the very wonderful tools that you might visit. Energy for me is an activity that helps us to give up to the younger ones, per se, those at the junior level, like SHS and junior high school. Field trips for our university students is very critical. And today we are here to talk about paper presentation and publication. And our publication, because not every paper or not every conference paper in SPE is published. There are several presentations you will make that will just go into as an abstract book of a conference, but not necessarily publishing it, right? E-mentoring is still available. And I'm very happy that I'm very happy to say that the YP chair of Warri was once my mentee, and I'm very proud of him. Volunteerism is for the reason why we are all here. So nobody pays you for what you do, but you love to do what you do. SPE Connects, I call that that's the SPE Facebook and the scholarship that are available for young professionals and students. So today we would just have the few minutes ahead of us to discuss penning down an abstract, because in SPE, before you are even allowed to publish with us, or let me say with SPE, we first request for abstracts. And as I'm speaking now, there are 2 wonderful programs or events whose abstracts are opened, namely NAIS and ATCE. I'm currently a member of the planning committee. Anyway, since for the past 2 years, I've been a planning committee member of ATCEs globally. And I review articles, I review abstracts to be selected for publication and speaking. And we started reviewing them this year. We started receiving them. So please don't forget to send your abstracts, and don't forget, to contact us if you have issues. We are ready to help you always, especially for those from Africa who wants to publish on at ATC level. Next year is going to be the 100 years of ATC, so we're going to have most of you publishing there. And NAIS, and I'm very happy to say that for the past 4 years, ever since I came back to Africa, I have been publishing with NAIS at least 1 article per year. So please, so those who are in Africa, let's take notes for that matter. I saw students here. There is a student congress which happened this year in Ghana. Next year it's happening in Angola. We expect the students also to start sending the abstracts. The portal is opened. We believe your student liaison officers are going to share with you. After your abstracts are accepted, you're going to receive an email, and after which you are expected to send your paper for publication. SPE makes it mandatory to publish, to present your paper before it's published. And let me say this, it's funny, but let me say it. Do you know that there are some people who are invited to come and speak at SPE events who we are never going to invite no matter what, because of poor presentations? So you can have a very good article, good abstract, but if your presentation skills is poor, we are very reluctant accepting you for further engagement. So this way I'm going to engage all of you, and if you want to talk, just raise up your hand. I'm going to call you, or Kamaldeen, you can moderate this for me. I just want 3 people to tell me why must I be interested in presenting papers? Why should you be interested in presenting papers? I believe you're not just here to listen to me. You are here because you want to really feel involved in the publishing business and in the research business. So I just want 3 people randomly to tell me why you think you must be interested in presenting. Let's do this very fast. You raise your hand and they're going to call you, just 3 people. Otherwise, I'm going to, okay, Alexander Mensah. Please raise your hand. Can you talk? Yes, let's go.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for this session. To me, it starts with the presentation skills. To hone my presentation skills, I have to do more presentation, as well as the research part of it. Being able to bring together findings and make it articulate enough for other people from elsewhere to read it and understand it. That is why I love to present papers and submit for presentations.
Wow. Thank you so much, Alex. Alex is from Ghana session. Please, so mention your name and your session so we know where you're from. Namdi RG. And then Blessing, and that's it. I'm not okay, engineer, I'll accept you. All right, let's go very fast. Namdi.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great. So I'll just give my personal opinion of this. I believe my interest in presenting papers is basically to increase the knowledge and the skill I have in the particular area of interest that I want to be an expert in. And I believe in presenting papers, the whole process of preparing and presenting these papers allows you to develop that muscle, allows you to develop that acumen. So
Beautiful.
these papers
Beautiful.
is a good to show that you are growing in this space. You are becoming more of
Thank you so much, Namdi, for that point. I really appreciate you for commenting. Please, which session are you from? Namdi.
Yeah, Warri section.
Warri, pleased to have you here. Blessing Ben, please let's be fast. Your session and you speak.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. Please confirm if you can hear me clearly.
And there are some breaks, but we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Ben Blessing from SPE Warri section. And I just want to say that the reason why we should be interested in presenting papers is the aspect of addressing issues in the society, adding value. Like we find an issue relating to the topic of the theme of the conference. So like adding value, addressing an issue in the society. Thank you.
Thank you so much for adding your voice. I'll ask Ideka Paul.
And thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Doctor, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Paul from Uganda section. And basically, for me, I'm borrowing from King Solomon. There's something which is called the 3 C's. And the 3 C's stands for communication, consultancy, and continuity. So basically, before you can become a consultant, you should have published in a certain domain. And those publications, outwritten words often end up outliving the authors. So it ends up ensuring continuity. So basically, why I am interested in the publishing and research business is because of the 3 C's: communication, consultancy, and continuity.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Which was common. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. We keep on learning from you every day. Nice to have you here, Paul. Engineer Ng. Engineer, please, can you unmute? Let us know where you're from and then your contribution. Let's be fast with this. All right, if engineer is not ready, let's have Shaibu Mohammed. Engineer, are you talking?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Section, everyone. I'm from Warri section 104, and to contribute to my little quarter in your question, I feel that the reasons why everyone should be interested in presenting technical papers is such that you can be able to share your experience, be it on what you are practicing at work or what you are researching online. I've actually had experience in this, but I'm actually so I feel joy, I feel a lot of joy, and I feel fulfilled because every knowledge
Oh, engineer, I think we've lost you. Sorry about that. We've lost you. Can we have Shaibu last person? Then we are good to go. Shaibu Mohammed, your session and your comment.
Thank you
please.
very much. From Uniport section Nigeria. You know, after presentation, unlike journal paper, you have expertise who make you kind of meet the expertise who at the end of the day you might collaborate with. And you also meet editors that are interested that at the end of the day you submit your paper to them. So in terms of collaboration, conference paper is, you know, a very good thing to do.
Yeah, correct. I agree. Shaibu, are you the one from Ghana? Shaibu, are you not from Ghana?
Yes, I'm from Ghana.
All right, good. Okay, but now you are in Uniport. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. We have loaned you to Nigeria for a while. All right. Okay, thank you all for that, for those wonderful submissions. But here are some few ideas I put together by myself. I mean, I've learned from you share with us. So basically, why you should be interested in presenting papers and publishing is to showcase your wealth of knowledge in the subject area. And I think in fact, two of the commentators mentioned that to build resilient confidence in your profession, having a chance or the zeal to stand in front of people, give you that confidence to speak professionally, and network with like-minded professionals, just like Mohammed Shaibu said. Because you have like-minded people review your work, review your speeches, it makes you even better, even as you network. Develop the spirit of research. It's not easy to add academia to professional life, but the end result is amazing, believe it or not. Once you're in the industry and you're into research, it makes your research complemented by your experience, and your work experience is also complemented by your research life. So you add on every day to whatever you do on a day-to-day basis at your workplace. And you become a subject matter or subject expert. And this is what is the goal. This is the goal of adding research work into your lifestyle. You become a top-notch, you become an expert, so that when they mention AI, when they mention financial model, when they mention reservoir model, they talk about anything, there is that person that needs to be consulted. And that's what Paul also alluded to. You get referrals, you get references. My team or my colleagues from Ghana Gas who are here will tell you, almost every week I'm receiving invitations to conferences, not just because I'm good, but probably also because I've done it over and over for many years and my name is out there. So I have people referring me for many events, and that also helps you also to build a network. So I'll be moving on. Writing a good article starts with an abstract, as we all know. And I think I've mentioned it, and the fact that two major conferences are accepting abstract today, that is NAIS and ATCE, for those who missed it. For students in Africa, the African Students Congress happening next year in Angola is receiving abstracts. Please contact your student liaison officers. So an abstract is a technical report, and for that matter, we're just looking out for a maximum 500 limit when it comes to the general aspects, in terms of abstract writing. And all that we want to read from you is an interesting motivation, a fascinating method, and an enviable resource, which we will yearn to read. I remember in 2016, I presented at ATCE in Dubai, and the chair for that committee called me after the presentation, after my session, and it was like, your abstract was so intriguing that I wanted to listen to your presentation. I didn't even pay so much attention to your publication, but I'm very happy that everything that I expected to listen to, came through. So an abstract is basically the representation of everything that you want to do. Talking about your publication itself, which is your research work, and even your presentation. The abstract, or what you call the executive summary, is what would portray everything that you want to show. Yes, there are cases where we receive abstract that differs from the actual paper. Yes, I've done this for many years, and we see it. For those papers, we reject them, even though you have accepted your abstracts. If your paper kind of digresses from the abstract for which we called you to present, we will fail you for that matter. It has happened to many people, and that we take it very serious. So you want to be very concise in the abstract. Yet you want to make sure that you've introduced your team very well. Why you chose that theme? Why is it so important? Why should your abstract be selected? For me, an abstract is like a CV. So once your CV is in front of me, and out of 10 people, and I need to choose one person, your CV should be able to communicate to me why I should even call you for interview. All right. And it's the same one, it's the same case for abstract writing. You need to tell us why the theme, why is it so important even in this regime. Today, AI is taking over everything. What are you doing that you can apply AI to? It beefs up, it beefs up whatever you do, right? There's a talk of energy transition everywhere you go. How is your role in energy transition synchronizing? Can you attach any reference to that? So look at what, and for those who have been in the industry for quite a long time, in the early 2000s, or let me say, 2000s, it was about peak oil. Every conference, every SPE conference you attended globally talk about peak oil. It moved on to reservoir engineering, optimization. It went to term oils, new technologies. Now, I'm very happy we are from COP28 this year, we are facing all the discussion of energy transition to energy optimization, or energy, whatever you want to call it. So what do you intend to achieve with your aim? How do you intend to achieve it? Very briefly, where your aims achieved. And let me stay here for a bit. Not every abstract, when in process, might have achieved the conclusion. And that's why if you are sending your abstract to ATCE or any other SPE related event, they ask you at what percentage from 0 to 100 are you in your research. So if you are at 50%, we don't expect you to have a conclusion. If you have a conclusion at 50%, I'm sorry, we might not call you, because it tells us that you already know what you want to produce, all right? And that's very common. Most researchers know the results, and they want to just write towards that. But we want it to be free. Let the results also be free, so that it becomes a learning curve. Not every objective will be met, but I have seen articles that are published in that regards, because somebody can pick it up and work on that with based on your recommendation. Conclude it with a sentence and let's go. Like I said, it's just a one paragraph. Put that in your mind, addressing your theme, why you chose that one, that theme. That means that you're talking about your problem statement and what do you intend to achieve? How do you intend to achieve it? And were you able to achieve it? If you're around 80 to 90%, conclude and recommend. Let's go. So what next? You submitted an abstract. The abstract has been accepted, thankfully. You begin writing your paper, and every paper begins with an introduction. Okay, so you begin by introducing and explaining the importance of your experiment. That's if your research is experiment based. For those who are doing more of engineering, could be reservoir engineering, drilling, production. You want to tell us about your experiment and the narrative around it, and say something important about. Simply say that something is important is not adequate. So there could be an existing method that we use, okay? But you are bringing a different method. You have a different approach. We want to read it, and you want to tell us about that. So your introduction to should define the experiment work. Yes, so you define the experiment work performance. It also defines the scientific purpose of the objectives for the experiments, which includes a description of the problem. So you're addressing your problem statement. Why is it a problem not to do that, but to do this? Why is it a problem not to do that? And what would be the foreseeable problem if you don't change our attitude towards that particular issue, right? So give sufficient background information to the report. But all in all, we're looking at about 3 pages maximum for you to tell us the answer to the question, why was this study performed? What is the specific purpose for this study? So believe it or not, this is actually the very first part of your abstract, which you are going to expand. You're going to expand the very first part of your abstract, where it talks about your theme, wider theme, and what method you intend to use to achieve that. I added this, and that is very important for those who write non-technical articles. And you know that SPE is not only for petroleum engineers, but for those doing HSE management and anything out of technical scope, right? And I added this, and for those anybody who has listened to me for ever, realize that this is the first time I'm bringing this empirical theoretical review, because it's becoming of necessity to show what kind of works has been done around this, okay? So if you are picking a topic that is non-technical, we want to see that other scientists, other researchers have sat down to also research into this topic. So that's what we refer to as empirical. Again, this might not be the case for technical people. If there's any theory that is backing your arguments, please do not hesitate to tell us that, or do not hesitate to let us know which theory actually is backing your argument. So experimental research details. So here again, I'm going to the technical guys. This is where you want to see which lab analysis you did, which research details, if it's a desktop, if it's a model that you did, be it a reservoir model, static model, or dynamic models that was built, if it's an AI implementation of any fuzzy logic application or modeling, this is where we want you to tell us about. So think of any experimental detail session as a recipe in a cookbook, all right? So the description must contain enough detail to enable someone else to duplicate the experiment. And this is very important. If you make a publication about a method or about a research, okay, and nobody can duplicate what you did, then I'm sorry, you did not communicate. One of you said it, that this is a way to communicate. This is a way to let people know what you have. If you have a research published, and I repeat this, and someone cannot follow your methodology to achieve that same result, so then I'm sorry, you made a publication all right, but the #1 objective wasn't met. The experimental research details should be able to give us that recipe to imitate, even for those non-technical models. If your input device was not articulated well, for us to also sit behind the Excel sheet or any model instrument we have, being Leap or whatever tool you use, then I'm sorry, you could not communicate very well in your research. And we look at all those things. Like I said in the beginning, it is not compulsory to achieve your aim or the end of the discussion. And this is to prevent the fact that, especially with dynamic models, we've seen cases where the reservoir geologist or reservoir engineer has something in mind to achieve, something in mind to give to management. So whatever he needs to do to achieve that, he does or she does. This is not what we want to do. Once you follow through the narrative, once you let us know what you want to achieve and you don't achieve it, please, it is still worth sharing. We want to see why you failed. Someone can pick that article, work on it, and probably even collaborate with you. And I've seen that happening in many, many times across the global world. So here you want to how to structure the results and discussion. I mean, what do the results clearly indicate? Does it indicate something that you intended to see? Did it clearly give you what you wanted to have? Is it going to solve the problem indeed? Has it been tested? So if you have sat in my panel before, or where I'm judging students, or I'm a moderator for technical meetings, I always ask, has it been practicalized? If that was not made clear in your presentation. But for presentations that we hear that is been made, I mean, it's been implemented, that's where we are even more happier. What was discovered? What is the significance of your results? How do we apply it? Are the results fully discussed, in conclusion drawn based on knowledge gained? How did errors occur? Like I mentioned already, we love errors. We love errors because we learn from errors. Nobody is perfect. Did any of the errors affect the conclusion of the experiment? It's right here again, you know, and I'm happy I'm mentioning it many, many, many times, just so that you don't think that if you don't get what you wanted to see, it's an error. All right? That's not an error. So please, what next? You're going to conclude and give recommendations. And let me put this caveat here, not to waste time. Please, you should not include on the discussions of new information not mentioned at any point in a report. It is very critical. We have reviewed works, and we have rejected works that had a conclusion different from the objectives. So remember this: your conclusion is picking your objective and your research gains. What you wanted to achieve, what did you achieve? How can it be applied, as we saw? And then please give recommendations. If it was failure, if we need to do another test, once you give recommendations, someone can pick your paper and call you and say, please, can I take the sequel of this paper with you? And I've had some, search requests many, many times. Appendix is very important for those who are doing models, all right? So you have very long mathematical formulas that complete the set of data that was used in your tables or whatever. It is not so important to be shared in the main body because it's cumbersome. You can set an appendix for that. So raw data and intermediate results that are not central to the topic of the report or the research can be placed at the appendix. All right. Now, very, very important in academia, for those who, for those of us in academia, one thing we want to prevent is plagiarism. You don't want to have a copywork issue. So you don't go and copy someone's work and make it your work. It's forbidden. Once you are caught, I'm not saying you can go to jail, but that is an academic suicide. And I believe your name will go far in a negative way. So give proper credit to the originator of the idea, and this goes to those who are going to write the empirical reviews. So for those who are going to research others' work and do a comparative analysis, you need to credit those who said certain things, and don't people now. As a lecturer, I've realized that people try to change their words to make the statements new. I'm sorry, with the new tools that we are using, we will catch you. It will take us to the original document, and we will see what you reword that. And mostly, when you reword so much, you change the meaning of the statement. Okay. So a word like through, and you put via, F-V-I-A, it might not sound the same if the word through was what was there. And let's take care of that. People are doing that now. I mean, a lot of times now, especially the students doing master's degree. So, I mean, let's have the do's and don'ts. Stay objective, okay? Stay very objective. Eliminate opinions from your writing. Don't let us have that feeling that it's all about you. So I think this kind of words should be avoided. Let's pay emphasis on the technical and scientific process and facts that you want to pass through or share with us, instead of sharing your opinion. Like I think let's stay very objective, and then that'll be very good to read. Let's remain mostly on a third person. Passive voice is recommended. All right. So this keeps your writing objectives and helps us to put emphasis on the process and things rather than yourself. So instead of I chose X, S was chosen. All right. We don't want to know who chose it. Of course, you're the author. You know that you're the one who chose it, right? But let's remove the I components from our writings. Please, let's learn to also use the tenses amicably. It's so sad to say this, that we had to sometimes reject papers coming from our region, Africa, because of grammar. And it is a pain, because when you miss tenses, if you're staying on past tense, please stay on a past tense throughout. Okay, if you're using the present simples, use the present simple. All right, but future tense is really used in technical reports. Please know that, because reports focus mainly on work that has been completed already. All right, unless you want to bring the future perfect tense, where you want something to be done, okay, in the future to support what you are doing. In that recommendation. But ideally, in your main work, you want to use the present simple and the past tense to show things that have been done in the past. Let's try to form compound nouns as much as we can. All right. So example, highly competitive mobile phone market. A highly competitive mobile phone market. And the formula is very simple. You pick your adverb, you pick your adjective, your noun, and the head noun. The head noun is what? Is the market. So instead of saying a market of mobile phone which is highly competitive, which is true, I mean, it's correct. It's not. This is English too, but since you're writing a scientific paper, you're writing a paper that has to be read by people not to sleep. I mean, not to put them to sleep by bombarding them with a lot of sentences. You want to form compound nouns to make your work much more readable. So a highly competitive mobile phone market instead of a market of mobile phone, which is highly competitive. So key elements of a noble technical paper. Okay, I'm not saying best here, because the best is very relative. But you don't have an abstract that is pleasant to read, very straightforward, not beating about the bush. An overall purpose of the experiment or the principal objective. You can have more than one objective, but in a technical paper, don't do more than 2 objectives. Restrict yourself to 1 if you can. All right. So for those who are doing PhD and you have 3, 4, 5 objectives, it means you have 4, 5 articles to write. And that's what I did when I was doing my PhD. I wrote so many papers out of my main thesis and did so many sequels with that. So the problem to be studied should be shared with us. Applicable empirical and theoretical review for those who want to do that is very good now. Experimental method and materials used, mainly results, and the main results. The conclusion and recommendations, reference are very important, especially if you borrowed words from other people, okay? So that is that. You are done writing your paper. You've been okayed. We've given you 1 month or 2 months to bring your presentation. So I'm going to jump onto the PPT quickly, how we should expect it. And again, over here too, I'm using the SPE standard. So this is a standard, sorry to say, we use for all technical sessions, and even does not deviate from what we use to grade the student contest, even at ATCE or on the regional levels. You want to see the overall visual appeal. Therefore, your layout of figures and text is very important. You don't have a cumbersome slide where people will be paying attention on the slides and on you and not you. and they'll be forcing their eyes to read stuff. So the quality of display is very important. Your oral, how knowledge of the materials are coming out of your mouth. That shows that you wrote it. And I was sharing with somebody today that we reviewed one of the best abstracts, one of the best writings, and then when the person came finally for the presentation, it was awful. And that is not good because it makes us feel that someone wrote the paper for you. Critical analysis must be shown. Engagement with the audience is very critical. And so the content should be an introduction, your method, your results, table and figures, and you conclude, you comment if you have, and you have your way out. So some tips from your PowerPoint, just 3 of them. And then we'll go to the presentation skills, also very few points, and we're good to go. Pick some questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. Keep it very simple. PowerPoint was designed to, as a convenient way to display graphical information that will support the speaker's argument. So please do not come to the podium. Do not come on stage and come and read your slide. People even read their names. It sounds funny. I remember at OTC at some point in the years, the person came, I'm not going to say from which region it is, but it was not coming from Africa, thanks be to God. And the person was even reading her name, that my name is, I'm coming from. And that was very weird. The person read the presentation from the beginning to the end. And believe it or not, such a person, we might have it difficult inviting you again, okay? So keep it very simple, which is the keys. The slides themselves were never meant to be the star of the show. You are the star of the show, all right? We came to listen to you. We came to fill the show with you. So let the slide guide you to display. Synchronize your speaking with the build-ups and transitions. So there's a logic part. So don't move here and come back and go around and just confuse all of us. Prepare a very logical presentation that we can follow with you. Yes, it's becoming popular now from 2017 that people are adding voice and audios in their presentation. It's acceptable, it's wonderful. Animation is amazing if you can apply them very well. I feel like it tells us that, especially those who are doing drilling experiment, tooling and all those stuff, when you see all those movements of the wearables up and down, we are very happy to engage with you. So please, it's allowed, and I'll encourage you to do that as well. Now the delivery tips. What should you look out for when you're delivering a presentation? Again, I said here, make it very simple, and I repeat it here, make it very short, slowly, and sweet. And this was adapted by a company called 3S, Securing Sustainable Supply. You are securing a sustainable supply or delivery by keeping your presentation short, slowly, and sweet. So you don't want to rush, talk fast, and go through it, and nothing is heard by the audience. So there is an adage that says, no one ever complained of a presentation being too short, but everybody's going to complain about a long presentation, and especially when it's boring and not engaging, right? So nothing kills a presentation more than going on too long and when it's boring. So rehearse. Believe me, even though I'm presenting virtually, I'm acting as if I'm presenting live, okay? And I have rehearsed many times. You can rehearse in front of your mirror. I used to do that. For those who have cats or dogs, please call your dog. Billy, please come. We have a presentation tomorrow. I got to rehearse. If you are presenting to the dog and the dog sleeps, it means you are boring. All right? So you have to keep the dog active or the cat active throughout the whole presentation. But guys, it's very important to rehearse. Do not take presentation for granted. Rehearse. Even us, who have spoken at a lot of conferences globally, we still rehearse. I've gone through these presentations many times before presenting it today, all right? Perform a presentation out loud several times for the new beginners. To yourself, call your parents and do that. Tell necessary stories like I'm doing. I go back, I come back, tell stories, and I come back. So all presentations are a type of theater, okay? It's an act. Tell stories and anecdotes to help illustrate your points, all right? It's just a buffer to your key facts. People know the facts already. There's nothing new under the sun, right? But once you bring stories attached to them, you are doing fantastic. Believe me on that. Make good eye contact. For those who are shy, believe me, I used to be shy too. But if you're good at making good eye contact, it actually reduces the shy level. It makes you have dominion over the delegates or over the participant in the room. At the beginning, it's difficult, but look straight into their eyes and talk. Engage them. Move your eyes around. For anybody who has ever heard me speak in an auditorium, I will look through all the people before I leave the presentation, and that gives you a sign that they are following you or they're not following you. All right, that's very wonderful to do. Connect with the audience. So even if it's possible and you don't have the media houses blocked you with their speakers on the podium, as you can see here, anybody who has ever heard me speak will know that I always want to move out of the podium and engage with the people. All right. So if possible, move out of the podium and have the whole stage to yourself and feel belonging and then deliver. Check the presentation room before you come the following day. It's very important. I remember a presentation in Shanghai. I was so confident I didn't go to check the room. I went the day and I saw the room, and for one reason or the other, I got very frightened, and that disturbed my delivery. I don't know about you. Probably someone can share his or her experience around this same thing. This is a very personal feeling that I do now, that I go and check the room a day before, and just to make sure I sleep with the room. And when I come, I know what to say and where to pass. Digress where necessary, or digress, depending on where you're coming from. It's very good to go and come back, all right? So that you're not boring. It's same as telling the stories, right? So you don't want to go straight and just make, okay, you made your point and that's it. But if you're able to digress, get some other information out of the status quo and bring into the communication, that's wonderful. But please, if you digress, don't stay there. People digress and they lose focus on the topic, especially on panel discussions. People on panel discussions pick an area, digress, and they stay there. And that's also very, very wrong. Know your slides. Know your slides. They're very, very important. It tells us that you are the one who who made your presentation. So you should know which slide is coming next. We don't like it, or we're not fond of reading or watching people who move to the next slide and look at it for some seconds and say, aha, before they move on. It tells us that you don't know what is coming. It tells us that you don't know what you're talking about. And when you know your slides, you're able to move on very well, and you're gonna synchronize with the audience. My host, I don't know if I do have time to run a very few engaging case study. I don't know about my time. I'm just talking. Can you confirm I have 5 to 10 minutes to engage the audience with a case study?
Yes, sir. You may proceed, sir.
Beautiful. Awesome. So I have some topics here that I want somebody. I picked this from One Petrol. These are published work. These are published work on One Petrol. You can later go and find them. And let me also say that this I'm going to make this presentation available through whatever means I can. So please contact me later if you need it. So this is the first topic: safety management programs and standardized application equipment minimize risk of non-conventional chemical usage. I repeat it: safety management programs and standardized application equipment minimize risk of unconventional chemical usage. I wish to have somebody who would volunteer and tell me what could be a suitable abstract for this topic. The next topic is general three-phase relative permeability model for Prudhoe Bay. So again, I said, Prudhoe Bay is one of the very popular reserve basin in Alaska. So the topic itself is nothing new. A three-phase relative permeability model is a basic reservoir modeling thing, right? But the person is doing a case study on a field that is difficult to work at. All right. So that person has a case to showcase. All right. So don't think so loud when you're thinking about topics, when you're thinking about things that you want to talk about. The net present value paradox, criticized by many, applied by all. For those who are in the management sector. Qualitative analysis of drilling fluid loss through naturally fractured reservoirs. Retaining women in the oil and gas industry was a topic at one of the ATCEs, and it's been published. All right, so these are published articles I just took randomly across all the facets of the industry, just to show you. But if I can have three of you volunteer to pick one of the topics showcased here and tell me what are the key findings or key foreseeable outcome of this particular topics, I'll be glad to do that. If three of you can, if three members here could do that, I'll be glad. Any volunteers? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. All right. We have shy people here today. Kamel, you're talking?
No, not at all. I just wanted to encourage people to raise their hand and to participate.
Yes, please raise up your hand and we'll see you, we'll call you. Any other topics? Because I know that this cut across everything that anybody here is doing. Any lady to pick retaining women in oil and gas industry. Why is it important? Why do you think the person was called to even present in the first place? What did she or he write to attract the reviewers? Net present value paradox. Criticized by many, applied by all in projects evaluation. Three-phase relative permeability model for Prudhoe Bay. It could be for Warri Bay. It could be for... All right, Shaibu, thank you so much. I have Alex as well. So I'll call Shaibu first. Tell us which of the topics you want to try, and then let's hear you. Shaibu, please. The floor is yours.
Let me take the general three-phase relative permeability model for Prudhoe Bay. Generally, you know, it could be that the Prudhoe Bay is having three-phase flow, okay? Because normally you could have, because for permeability, you could have absolute permeability where you're looking at just one-phase flow. Yeah. And when we talk about two-phase flow, relative permeability comes in, and it could be two-phase flow. But in this case, it could be that if you apply the two-phase or the one-phase model, it could not, you cannot model the Prudhoe Bay because that might be having three-phase flow. I mean, oil, water, gas flowing through. So you need to have, you need to generalize and have that model that is peculiar to three-phase flow to that. Secondly, if there has been three-phase flow before his work, then he's trying to, let's say, generalize it, add something. If I don't see that, then the abstract becomes, so first in the introduction, maybe you talk about in the abstract, the first sentence we talk about the fact that a three-phase flow is important in Prudhoe Bay. Try to bring a justification of why you want to work on that case study using a generalized three-phase flow. And secondly, you talk about your objective, what exactly you want to do. Why do you want to generalize it? Why not use other methods? Then you briefly talk about the method you are going to use. Are you going to have, is it empirical, three-phase flow? Are you going to develop a theory on it? Your results, what are the key results that you've gotten that have not been reported? Maybe
awesome.
yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Maybe the models that are in existence cannot model Predictable B. So you've come up with an idea, a result that is quite different, and then
thank you,
Shabu.
Shabu. You've nailed it. You've nailed it. I wish we could clap. Yeah, I think there's something that we can use to clap for Shabu. Let's give it up to Shabu. You've nailed it, and that's actually what it is. You can later go and look at the paper, and everything you said is in there. It tells us that yes, we know what to write and how to write. Thank you so much, Shabu. Let me go to engineer. Inji, being the next person.
Yeah,
please
thank
tell
you.
me which topic, and then we're good to go.
Yeah, thank you, Riverson. For me, I think I will actually go with the topic on qualitative analysis of drilling fluid loss through naturally fractured reservoirs.
All right, let's go.
For me, I feel the reason why such a topic will actually capture such a topic with any abstract would actually capture any audience is the fact that when we look at our reservoirs currently during drilling processes, fracture reservoirs are a key component. And when we look at the involvement of advancements in technologies whereby in current days, people are actually focusing on real-time sensors which are improved, and you have a lot of them which are monitoring systems while operation is currently going on, which means there is a whole lot to talk about on such topics. And with such topics, it will go a lot to look at what can you do to optimize the analysis by identifying the patterns and predicting the fluid loss behavior, because those things are also key issues that must also be looked in. And when you see a topic like this, those are some of the things you'll be looking at and then trying to navigate it with what is changing and why is it now imperative that this should be incorporated here. And which I think another thing too is, another thing to look at is the factor that topics like this can actually lead to efficient drilling operations. So for me, seeing a topic like this, because during my undergraduate, I actually did my project on drilling fluid operations based on my experience I had when I was in a laboratory. So I feel topics like this actually have a whole lot to offer. Once you see it, you already know there's a whole lot of information. So coming out with an abstract, you can have an amazing abstract on a topic like this.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Engineer NG, for spending time with us. And again, it's like you are the, I mean, I thought you were the author. Because again, when I read it, is exactly what you're referring to. And we actually love the fact that you are building on something. Okay. It's not about the fact that you just want to read. We want to read that this particular quantitative analysis of the drilling fluid loss through the natural fracture reservoir is a case to actually emulate on other fields with that similar characteristics. And thank you so much for sharing that. I'll go to Laurentia Hene, and I'll check with my moderator if I have more time. Yes, let's go. Laurentia.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Riverson. I would speak, definitely I'm a female, so I want to speak on the last topic, which is retaining women in the oil and gas industry. Yeah, so I think from my perspective, for a very long time, we've seen that people have this cultural or societal idea that women are not supposed to do certain hard work or even be in the oil and gas industry. But we've seen for some time that a lot of women are really doing well in the oil and gas industry. A lot of females are doing exceptional things. So retaining women in the oil and gas industry is very important because women bring certain different skills on board because of their natural, or let me say their inherent characteristics that they have. So women can contribute certain ideas or make certain decisions that sometimes the male may not be able to bring on board. So
don't go for any debates, Laurentia. Don't go for any debates here.
So I
Yes.
think including women is very important. Also, I think to promote the topic on diversity and gender inclusion, because so that we can have a balanced workforce, not only for the males, but also females who aspire or dream to be in the industry will also have some hope that they can also be there, since there is a promotion to retain and promote a lot of females in the industry.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. And I think this is a D&I topic, which SPE is actually preaching on at the moment and making so much noise about it. And currently, I'm very happy to know several ladies that are forthcoming in the industry, and they're doing amazing work. All right, Alex, please, which topic are you choosing? And that's the very last person I'm picking. And
I think I'll try my hands on the NPV paradox, the net present value paradox, criticized by many, applied by all. I think it's true that the net present value is, to me, one of the most important economic viability determinants. Of course, there's IRR, there are other determinants that we can use, but then the net present value is one of the most important. But of course, it has its limitations, especially when it comes, because when calculating NPV, you mostly have to rely on the discounting rate, and most of the time, you have to guess a discounting rate to use, and also the time limit, sometimes the shelf life, of course. So I believe these things can all lead into it that can make people criticize it very much. So if I were writing this, I would draw attention to how the NPV has been used and what the discounting rate has been for different projects within the oil and gas space, and then make a case that still NPV can still be relied upon.
Yeah, correct.
And can continue to use it and hopefully give some ranges of the parameters that can be viable for NPV.
Correct. Thank you so much. And I think you said it all. We're not saying NPV is bad, but like you really said, it's one of the parameters that we look at in the economic framework, okay? And I always tell people that even apart from NPV and IRR now, the project risk itself is also very important. So you can have a project with a high NPV and high IRR, but it's been rejected to going for a smaller one. So thank you so much for coming on board. So at this point, I mean, before you go to the Q&A, I want a student to pick this slide, make it your own, present it as if you did this research and you're presenting it at a conference. I want a student preferably. Can I have a student? Can I have any student to volunteer? We saw a lot of students here. If you're a student, I'll be happy to have you here. It's very simple. It's a very simple bar chart, but I want you to own it. I want you to narrate as if you run this survey and you are sharing your outcome with us. And why is it so important? Hello? Don't go quiet. Can we have a student do that? Okay. The students are shy. They will take screenshots and go home and prepare. Okay, Sinku. Wow. Tell us where you're coming from. And let's shoot.
Yeah, hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, please, I'm from Ghana. UMass.
Wow.
I'm an
Great.
undergraduate. Yeah.
Pleased to have you. Let's go.
Thank you, sir. Please, so basically this graph shows us a chart of the books available at a section. So for the first part, we can see that looking at the level of our graphs or the graph over there, you can see that the children books has a higher number around 80, And then we also looked at the lowest being the history books available at the session. Yeah, and then just like the matching as it goes, we have the biographies, the children's books, the comics, engineering, and then the fiction and literature. We have the history and then the religion and spirituality as well. So the graph basically shows us the books available at the section and then shows us the highest and then the lowest books available, just as it matches. Thank you, sir.
I wanted something more. You just told me what I can read. You know, whatever you said, I could read it. I wanted something. So what is it telling you? What information is it giving you? Blessing. Blessing, are you a student?
Yeah, yes, I agree with sir.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Okay, I'd just like to buttress on what the previous speaker just mentioned. Like for the books available at the section, student went to more children's books. Like I feel the children's book is more of explanatory through pictures and all. And as I said, the lowest was history. I feel like students are more, they don't really connect with their history. They don't feel that interest about their history and all. As I thought it's forest accessory to the books. And it goes along the other ways, biographies, comics, engineering, all. So I just feel for the children's books, that's the history, the lowest.
All right. Okay. So I think you could go deeper. You went to a session, all right, and you found more children's book than history and the rest. Why would someone bring more books of this category than the other? It means it's sold faster than the rest. Okay, it's being bought faster than the rest. So when you do a research like that, anyway, this is not about whatever you're going to do, but it's about being able to interpret graphs and make it very interactive. All right, make it your own. So you want to emphasize on the fact that the children's book are prioritized in the particular session than even history, and that raises an alarm. Okay, people need to know about history instead of Cartoon Network. All right. I mean, so this is what I wanted to have that kind of feeling from your end. And there's another fiction book sales about young adult classic mystery romance. And every year there's romance book the highest. It's even now the young people want to buy what? I mean, now people are now diving more into purchasing what? Romance books. For whatever reason, that's your research. Okay. And again, I don't expect you to come and tell me that in this year this was the highest, this was no. Make it a storytelling. All right. So on that note, thank you so much, organizers from Warri. Thank you so much, organizers from Ghana, and thank you so much from organizers coming from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, where I'm located now. Let me say that there's a book saying, should I stay or should I leave? Will the hydrocarbon industry remain relevant? If you want to contribute, the questionnaires are available on my LinkedIn network, please. I will share the link on this particular page right now. Go and share your view with us. Don't hesitate. Let us know. Do you think there's still hope for the hydrocarbon industry? With all this energy transition, all this fight against hydrocarbon, and don't let your voice be left out. Thank you so much once again for having me here. I appreciate it.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir, for that beautiful, wonderful presentation. That was very brilliant, both in content and delivery, and it wasn't short of expectation, I must say. I'm very sure participants here would have learned a thing or two from the presentation. So thank you for not only presenting, but for carrying the audience along. I'm very sure there was no dull moment at all throughout the presentation. Okay, the next on the agenda is question and answer. But personally for me, I would want to pick out a thing or two that stood out for me. I'm very sure participants here too would have jotted some things down that serves as a learning curve for them. Uh, you mentioned at the start that if you are writing your abstract, you might not necessarily have your results ready yet. I'm very sure I hit that correctly, but that was a little bit surprising for me. And also that even if your research failed, you can still present it because the why it failed could also be a learning point for people, and someone might pick it up from there and adopt your method and probably do something uh, better with it. And when it comes to presentation, you are at the start of the show. You should know your slides. You should speak to your slides and uh, do not and keep it simple. And you also jokingly said that nobody ever complains of a short presentation, but everybody complains when presentation is too long. And storytelling, yes, the importance of storytelling, and digressing a little bit. I would have thought it would be wrong to digress when you are presenting, but you said digress a little bit if it is, or whenever it is necessary. And finally, you said rehearse, no matter how small you think the audience might be or how easy the presentation might be, it's very, very important to rehearse. So those are the things that stood out for me. I'm very sure members also have a few things that stood out for them. You might want to put that in the comment section for us to see. So just as we have it on the agenda, we'll be moving to the question and answer session. I'm very sure we have a lot of questions for uh, our facilitator here. So please, if you have a question, you can, just as you have been doing throughout the meeting, you can raise your hand, signify, and you'll be called upon to to ask your question. And please, let's keep it straight to the point. Your name, where you are calling from, and straight to your your question. We have thanked the facilitator enough. So if you are going to ask questions, you can stand on the existing text and just go straight to the question. Thank you. Mr. Paul, you raise your hand. Kidega Paul.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Riverson, for pouring out yourself to us. It has been very enriching. I have personally learned a lot. I basically have one question. Is it okay to give us some guide on how to pick PhD topics? And especially for those who are straight from the university and they intend to go directly for PhD programs. So it's very possible that they don't have rich field experience. They don't have many years of experience in the field. So can you just give us a guide on how they can pick the PhD research topics? And since we are talking about technical paper writing, basically, can you just give us a guide on how to pick topics for PhD research?
All right. I think I get your question. Let me let me mention that I changed my PhD topic 3 times. So the final PhD thesis that I wrote was my third paper, or my third topic. But because my PhD was a taught PhD, it did not ask me to go back and start, unlike those who do only research-based PhD. So if you do a research-based PhD, you run your topic, okay? So you do 3 years or 4 years of your topic. I first started with the finance aspects of the oil and gas industry. and I moved to economics and policy. And then I moved to fiscal regime, which actually combine all the three in a way. So it's very difficult to tell you what to do in terms of PhD. But what I can share with you, as a matter of fact, Dr. Oko, the session chair of Warri is here, probably he can help me out, and any professional in that regard. What is ideal, all right, is to grow in the academia or in the industry. A topic is best actualized when it's a problem identified by the author. Then you have the motivation, all right? But if I mean, my students always come to me, Doc, can you give me a topic? I said, I don't give topics. Bring your topic, let's discuss it. Because if I give you a topic, it's my interest, not your interest. And normally we realize that the interest of the people are not met. So ideally, if I'll say anything, make sure you have an interest first of all, and push that interest into a question and then research on. Second way that you can also go about it is to go into the universities that you want to do your PhD at. Identify which research topics that they have sponsorship for. That's what I would have done if I didn't know what to do. So I'll go around the universities. I'll go to probably Paul University of Science and Technology, and they have funds available for this particular topic, maybe CO2 sequestration. And I can do it, why not? I write my objectives, I write my research questions, and I go and apply for it. So I'll answer your question these two ways. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome. Any further questions? Any more questions? All right. But I mean, not having more questions is very good, actually. It means that, Alex, it means that you understood everything. That's good. Alex.
Yes.
I'm also trying to.
Okay. Yes,
Alexander. Alex, you can speak. Yes.
Okay. So Alexander from Ghana section. So I've got a question in two folds. The first part is, does the topics that are being considered for every technical conference, does the topics that are being considered influence the selection of the papers, as well as the topic of the proposed abstract? These two things, do they influence very much the selection of the paper? Also, the second part of this, second fold of it, is that you also mentioned that what the author wants to do change very much from the abstract. The paper can be rejected along the line. So I was thinking that, what if the author has not arrived at a solution yet, but then decides to write an abstract to send for a possible presentation, but then after the abstract has been accepted, realize that, oh well, I will have to change what I'm really looking at. And so when that happens, do you state in the paper that the previous one did not go quite well, so there's a change in the, so I mean, like, how do you handle
Okay, I got you. So Alex, SPE is not that rigid. For those who have published in the other scientific journals, all right, you don't have this flexibility to write an abstract that doesn't have a conclusion. You should have concluded before you apply for consideration. And for those journals that are payable, you pay and they publish it. Those that are free, you just publish. And but with SPE, like I said, if you are sending your abstract and you're not done, you're maybe 60% through, yes, we can consider it. But that means that you need to draw the attention of the coordinator or of the chair of that technical committee that now you are done 100% and there's a slight change in your abstract. Yes, you are allowed to change your abstract. But what I said is that when your published abstract and what is in there are totally different, that one is a no-brainer. I mean, no-brainer. We don't actually take it. That will not work. Then your first question was if the topic influences selection. Yes. So when you go to ATC, for example, or even NAIS, there are categories of selection or selections of areas to consider, right? So you wouldn't go to management session and say you want to write about reservoir modeling, right? So when you go to reservoir characterizations also, they let you know which area they're looking for. So take that into consideration because that's what they are intending to have. They want to have a discussion around this particular area. That's why they specify it. So even though they've written reservoir characterization, read the abstract and make sure that your abstract is in sync or your topic is still in sync into that framework. I hope my answer satisfies you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Beautiful. All right. Kamal, I think we are good to go. Thank you so much for having me once again.
Thank you very much, sir, for the beautiful presentation and the whole session in general. Thank you, sir. Okay. With that, we have come to the end of the technical session. Next on the agenda is closing remarks. We have Himid Umari online, the YP chair for Tanzania session, Dahe Salaam, who is going to be giving us the vote of thanks. So, Himid, if you are online, you may proceed.
Hello, everyone. I hope you had a fruitful section like me over here. On behalf of Warri Nigeria section, Ghana section, and Dar es Salaam, I would like to extend a really heartfelt vote of thanks to our facilitator, Dr. Riverson, who spared his time on his busiest schedule to join us today. We had a really amazing opportunity, and we hope to write good papers and present well in the near future. I know an event like this could not happen overnight, so we had a proactive organizing committee. So thank you, every one of you who made this event possible. And last but not last, I would like to give appreciation to everyone who joined us today from Ghana, Tanzania, and Nigeria, and across Africa and all over the world to this session. It would be nice for you to be with us until this late at night. Over here in Tanzania, it's really late. And we thank you for joining us. And I hope this is the beginning of more events and more collaboration in the future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Himid. Thank you for your speech. We have Dr. Eddie. Yeah, he has raised his hand. Sir, you may proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I know I'm not scheduled to actually speak, but I couldn't have listened to everything Dr. Riverson, my very good friend and brother, said, and I will not even say a word. I want to just appreciate him for that thought-provoking lecture, and I was listening keenly anyway, and I hope the YPs that put this thing together, that they appreciate it as much as I did, And I want to also encourage us for this kind of collaboration. I'm sure it's something that we need to really build on. You know, Africa needs to step up their game. Africa has come to that stage where we actually need to, you know, make the rest of the world realize that, look, we are not a third world country. Yeah, we are not third world, because, I mean, if you have Dr. Riverson, for instance, and a whole lot of other people that are on this call, intelligent people, bright minds, and somebody will say you are from the third world. Why? So, but we are the one that will actually choose the way we'll be addressed. So if Africa steps up its game, I'm sure nobody will refer to you as third world. So once again, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that put this program together. And I hope in the nearest future, we'll do more of this. Thank you. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of encouragement and the commendations. Like you have said, hopefully we'll get to organize more programs like this to educate ourselves on much more further topics. Thank you very much, sir, for your comment. Moving to the last, before we call it a day, that is the photo section. Oh, sorry, photo session rather. I think the way to do is for us to put on live video and we'll take a screenshot. So yes, please, if you're still online, you can put on. Let me also do that here so that you can see my video. Okay. Can we get more people to put on their video? We have very few people here. By my count here, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have less than 10 people with their video on. Please, if you're online, you may want to share your live video and let us take this group photograph. Just for a few seconds before we take it. Okay, please, if you're online, we'll be taking it in maybe 30 seconds. So you can put on your video. Okay. So we're taking this, the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I think we have something. Okay, probably I might want to take one more shot again for whoever I missed it the first time. So I'll just count down from 5 and to take another shot. So please, if you missed out on the first one, you might want to take part in this. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. So I think we are good to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you. Okay.
Good one.
Thank you, everybody.
Very wonderful one. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Delivery well.